and great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
Catastrophe. What's happening on planet Earth is definitely not business as usual.
To questions about whether this is all a sign of the apocalypse.
Cases of strange sounds in the skies reported all over the globe.
Such sounds have been reported in Kentucky and Indiana. In fact, the sounds have been reported right here in Louisville. Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good has been looking into this. He joins us now with what he was able to find out about these sounds.
Oh, so mysterious, aren't they? Well, Shannon and Scott, you know, these sounds are certainly eerie and have taken place during the day and at night. And in most cases, they last about 1 hour for each episode. I invite you to listen carefully to the sounds you are about to hear. The sounds certainly get your attention, and they're making headlines all over the world.
Tonight, investigators are trying to solve a bizarre mystery.
Strange noises heard around the world the last few weeks.
Hoje, Marcelo Espanha, boa noite para você. Conta melhor essa história pra gente.
A loud, strange noise early this morning.
Well, Ricardo County took to social media about a loud boom that shook their homes and workplaces around 10:15 this morning.
Did you hear a loud boom earlier today? Several people heard and felt a loud noise around 12:30 Central Time this afternoon. News Channel 7.
New at 11 now. It's a nervous night for residents of Fair Lawn, New Jersey, wondering if it will happen again. For about a week there, the area's been plagued by loud, booming sounds. Problem is, no one knows where the sound is.
Right, AJ Abby, we'll take a look at this map. This is where residents say they are hearing the loud booms, and you can see right across this map, you can see North Florida and South Georgia. Almost all the counties in our coverage area are covered. Now take a look at some of what our viewers posted on Facebook. Kelly writes, it sounded, she's writing from Havana, at around 10:30, it sounded like a loud truck rumbling. Went outside and nothing. Also, Precious B writes, it felt like I heard the noise I heard at the time, referenced my home shook. I thought it was an earthquake. Yet another viewer also telling us that this one is Stephanie. She says, I have heard and felt several times over the last few days, dogs go crazy and the windows rattle. It felt like the whole house was shaking. Now,
There's a lot of people talking about this, a loud noise. Emergencies calls, all this in Dodge County, people wondering, what was it?
Yeah. Some people describe them as trumpets. Others called it a long hum or even booms. The mysterious sounds were also captured on national TV during a Tampa Bay Rays baseball game.
And the bunt is fouled. The count is 1-1.
And what could that possibly be? Somebody shut the door.
It sounds supernatural.
doing that for a solid 2 hours now.
What I love it.
A terrible mystery gripping the world right now. Birds, fish, and all kinds of creatures just dropping dead in huge numbers for what seems like no reason.
It's the latest in a series of unexplained sudden death incidents. The events have sparked a media frenzy, with doomsday speculators saying it hails the end of the world.
A devastating sight in Chile. Dozens of dead sea lions have washed up on the country's northern shore in the region of Antofagasta. This is the grim scene on the beach in Jonitos, seals found in an advanced state of decomposition.
A mystery is unfolding in Shasta County. Hundreds of birds are found dead along Interstate 5. A wildlife biologist says this is highly unusual.
It's very odd.
Jim Wigan is perplexed.
I've studied wildlife my whole life. Never seen this. Never seen this.
The wildlife biologist is trying to unlock a mystery. That mystery lies in the form of dozens of dead birds, all gathered within a 200-yard radius in the northbound lanes of I-5 on the side of the road. They have been poisoned in the past. Wigan doesn't believe that's what happened here.
These guys would be scattered all over the place. They wouldn't all be right here. If these guys were shot with a gun, you know, they would be going in all different directions.
Nor does he believe they were sick.
If it was an avian disease, why would all the bodies be in one place? When birds are sick, it takes them a long time to die. This is a sudden event.
Whatever happened is a mystery.
Thousands of dead seabirds have washed up on the beaches of Alaska's Prince William Sound recently, and it's both startling and worrying experts. Federal wildlife officials counted more than 8,000 dead common murres on Whittier Beach alone. The biologists who examined the birds say they seemed emaciated and likely starved to death. But why?
A beetle invasion of biblical proportions has hit beaches in Argentina. The swarm of beetles has come out of nowhere and is leaving experts baffled. Locals reacted with horror after seeing the swarm of the bugs crawling on the beaches in the resorts of Mardao, 31 miles away from the capital Buenos Aires, and San Bernardo. In scenes straight out of a horror film, images posted onto social media show the beaches turned black by the plague.
Tons of dead sardines clogged the Caule River in southern Chile. Authorities have started cleaning up, but why the fish died is still a mystery.
It's not something you see every day, so just kind of surreal to see it.
Anderson's husband has been working with cows his entire life. She says he has never had anything like this happen.
Not any of his, and especially not to this magnitude.
Our South Jersey Bureau, as many as 20,000 dead fish have washed up in Little Egg Harbor. Officials say it is the second largest fish kill in less than a week.
A bit of deja vu. This comes just a day after crews finished cleaning up a large fish kill in the area.
I've been here in this marina for 4 years now, and I've never seen a fish kill like this.
This is no joke, even though it sounds like a knock-knock joke. You might smell something fishy if you are near Lake Murray because dead fish are floating to the top.
If you were on Casco Bay today or anywhere along the southern Maine coast, you may have seen hundreds of dead fish in the water.
This is a breaking news alert.
We've got some breaking news. Just a moment ago, a 6.2 magnitude quake struck near Rome, Italy.
First, aftershocks continue to rattle central Italy as the death toll from a 6.2 magnitude earthquake soars to at least 250 people. Hundreds more are injured and crews are racing against time to find any survivors buried beneath collapsed buildings.
A small earthquake early this morning in an unusual place, Oahu. And it comes just days after a series of quakes jolted the state.
What's unusual is that these are earthquakes that are occurring in places where we tend not to get a lot of earthquakes.
I found out from experts that it's rare to have earthquakes on Oahu, Maui, or Kauai.
Up to 20 earthquakes have shaken Arizona in the last week and a half.
Even though there were no reports of damage or injuries, this phenomenon is catching some experts' attention.
It's unusual for us to see that many earthquakes and continuing over a period like that.
That makes about 22 events in that part of our state since late March.
A strong earthquake shook Myanmar. It had a magnitude of 7.0. No reports of casualties or major damage. At least 6 people died in Pakistan last week.
This weekend, Japan is recovering from not one, but 2 major earthquakes, both centered near the southern island of Kyushu.
Sometimes the pictures tell the entire story. This is the scene in southern Japan right now. Roads ripped apart, buildings turned to rubble, flattened like pancakes. Entire neighborhoods, in fact, askew after a series of powerful quakes.
The 7.0 quake hit in the middle of the night when people were sleeping. Japanese TV shows buildings that are shattered now or even collapsed. Some are on fire. The rubble in the streets make it difficult for rescue teams to get to victims.
Crews urgently searching for survivors and the injured, going door to door in the dark. Mother Nature seemingly rising up against southern Japan.
And just one day after the 2 quakes in Japan, the third hits Ecuador.
Powerful 7.8 earthquake shook large portions of Ecuador yesterday. Nearly 80 are reported dead.
Another earthquake to report this morning. The 6.1 magnitude quake shook the Pacific island of Tonga. This happened around 7:30 at night their time, just after midnight our time.
Great Plains were shaken awake this morning by the strongest earthquake in the region in years.
This comes as the state of Oklahoma has seen a huge jump in earthquakes in recent years.
The quake was felt for hundreds of miles around in 6 neighboring states. Pawnee's mayor says the quake lasted at least a minute, much longer than most tremors that hit the earthquake-prone state.
I said, is this the end? Is Jesus coming back?
First warning of a monster earthquake off America's coast. The worst natural disaster in the history of the nation is coming, say the scientists. The federal government estimates 13,000 Americans will die in a major earthquake and tsunami in the Pacific Northwest. It's not a question of whether, but when. This earthquake is coming, and it's overdue.
It's being called the largest evacuation in the history of Alberta, Canada. The entire city of Fort McMurray has been ordered to evacuate from a massive fire.
Wind, parts of Alberta are literally hell on earth. 49 fires are raging, at least 7 burning out of control.
Plumes can be seen from space, traveling 3,000 miles all the way to Florida. Lightning may have sparked this blaze.
The mood in the city is very, very somber. As we were pulling out, it felt like one of those Armageddon movies. The downtown was, nobody there, no lights on, very dark, gray skies, billowing smoke, and flames literally beside the road on both sides.
A freak waterspout was captured by onlookers on Saturday just off the coast of Playa Caimito in southern Cuba. Witnesses say they saw as many as 7 waterspouts take form.
Quite a sight over New England overnight. I thought I was seeing things as the night sky was lit up by a meteorite.
Now, people in several states, including right here in Rhode Island, reported seeing the bright flash early this morning.
Guys, check this out. A meteor caught on camera overnight. Look at that.
Ooh, wow.
In Portland, Maine. This is dash cam video from a police officer's cruiser. The meteor could be seen as far as south as New Jersey and as far north as Nova Scotia.
Some people say the meteorite sounded like a big jet flying low in the sky. As for this most recent fireball, the American Meteor Society reported sightings in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and parts of Canada.
Storms are rolling again through Texas. Tonight, they are hoping it is not the hail.
The hail looked like torpedoes being shot into this backyard pool in Wiley, Texas. Meteorologist Tom Bradshaw.
This is really, really unusual.
As more than 10,000 people lost power.
Why? Why is this happening? Why?
It's just incredible. I've never been through anything like this before.
Here in Wiley, you could hear the glass shattering as massive hailstones pierced through the windows of this home.
Few people understand, I think, the stakes better than our Pacific Island leaders, because they're seeing already the impact. Rising temperatures and sea levels pose an existential threat to your countries. And while some members of the U.S. Congress still seem to be debating whether climate change is real or not, many of you are already planning for new places for your people to live. Crops are withering in the Marshall Islands. Kiribati bought land in another country because theirs may someday be submerged. High seas force villagers from their homes in Fiji, where glaciers are melting at a pace unprecedented in modern times. And it was a preview of our future if the climate keeps changing faster than our efforts to address it.
I've been here for 16 years and nothing like this has been so extreme.
It's insane. It's just mind-blowing. Like, watching the waves come up yesterday was just out of control.
It's as big as I've seen it for 20 years, mate.
At Cronulla last night, the waterfront restaurant was swallowed up by the massive swell.
And then got a show. Sea Level restaurant living up to its name as giant waves washed through the glass windows.
We've been here for 19 years and we've had some higher seas before, but it's never actually come up through the windows.
The staff scrambled to move to higher ground. Mopping up the mess proved pointless as the tide continued to rise. South Cronulla wasn't spared. Zimzala Cafe engulfed. And the wind, the tide, the waves all joined forces to slice away at the cliff edge, changing this part of the coastline forever. It's a picture best painted by Google Earth before the weekend storm and after, the northern beaches in their very own disappearing act.